MovieWeb.com.
There is a physical dimension to Lars that I was very curious about how you found that character, because he's understated, he's having trouble expressing his emotions, but as far as the the blinking eyes, the bottled up look that he has, how did you get to that point in fleshing that out?
Yeah, I think look, Lars is such a great character that I wish everybody could play him in a way. I wish it was a play, and I could see all kinds of actors do it. In a way, you sort of feel like you hope you're doing the character justice, but it's just your take on it. You have a few months to prepare for a role, and you do the best that you can. All of those things that you mentioned, the kind of physical, um, um, his personality, were things that just kind of developed. I don't know really how those things come. It's kind of the fun of the job, is that those things they just happen.
All right. There is a sweetness to the story that caught me by surprise, because the entire town kind of comes together and they really help Lars, through this process by adopting the doll as a real person. And the whole time I was waiting, for someone, some asshole, to be like, Lars, you're delusional, blah, blah, blah. But that doesn't happen. And that was very surprising. So was that what really endeared you to the script?
Yeah, I think that the script, and Nancy as a writer, I think it's kind of a radical movie in the sense that it has like the guts to be nice and to wear its heart on its sleeve and to be totally exposed. It's not cynical at all. But I do feel that it's realistic. I think that it's a matter of perception. I think that in a situation like this, most of us would assume that things would go terribly awry. When I was reading the script, I kept waiting for somebody to burst his bubble or something bad to happen to her, and but it doesn't. And I think that that's possible. And I think that Nancy, the writer, thought it was more interesting to explore what would happen if you walked into a place that you were afraid, for a person who's afraid of being himself, which we all kind of are in some way. What happens if you walk into a world of total acceptance? How would you handle that? And it's an interesting concept.
A quick question about your choices in film. This character, Lars, is very different from anything that we've seen you do. I mean, we've seen you do some introspective characters before, some violent characters, but here's a character that's totally sweet and good-natured. And I was wondering, do you find these roles more in the indie system, or do you find that Hollywood has kind of given up on like a film like this?
Well, I don't think that there are many films like this. I think that there aren't. I think Nancy Oliver's a special writer, and I think that movies like this are rare because people like her are rare. So I don't know that to me, this doesn't fit inside the independent world or the Hollywood world. It's just sort of like its own thing. It's like that movie Harvey with Jimmy Stewart. Like, that's a great movie, and we all love it, but there's never been anything like it again. I don't know why. It's just, they're these things that just, they're like genres unto themselves, like a few Hal Ashby movies or something.